What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome to another episode of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. This is number 34, and we're here with SmackDown, so let's take a look at the match card for this episode, as it is Darren Young going one-on-one with Fandango. Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel, the International Airstrike, defeat Los Matadores in tag team competition. Ryback, the Intercontinental Champion, knocks off Heath Slater here tonight. And Natalya defeats the Divas Champion Brie Bella. So that's a big victory for Natalya to try to bounce back in her career. Maybe, just maybe, she could see a potential Divas Championship match with Brie Bella. Of course, Summer Rae does still have a rematch clause, so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects things. Mark Henry goes one-on-one with the World Heavyweight Champion Christian. A matchup between the former champion and the current champion. That's going to be a big match. And tonight, the main event is Sheamus one-on-one with one half the tag team champions, Luke Harper. But let's go ahead and get into the opening matchup for the episode, as it's Darren Young, one of the four men who will be competing at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. As he'll also be joined by the Intercontinental Champion Ryback, Cody Rhodes, and his former tag team partner, Titus O'Neil. Now, Darren Young, of course, last week, he was banned from the arena. I mean, we saw what went down at the opening, in that huge, hectic opening segment for SmackDown, where I was constantly repeating the phrase, something out of control, because it was out of control. And that was exactly why Triple H, following that segment, he gave Darren Young the night off, because, I mean, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, they competed at Elimination Chamber, and this was, of course, after Titus O'Neil had gotten fed up with losing as a member of the Primetime Players, and he was set out to destroy Darren Young and propel himself to superstardom here in the WWE. And he did just that. He defeated Darren Young in Elimination Chamber. Although Darren Young, he's clearly still fed up that, well, not really fed up, but he's frustrated. Because, I mean, Titus O'Neil just turned his back on him. And Darren Young, even though he lost, he still claimed that he had beaten Titus O'Neil twice before, which he did. So, Darren Young Darren Young claimed to have the upper hand over Titus O'Neil. So, it appears as though those two still have unfinished business between each other. And, because of that, Darren Young was ejected from the arena last week on SmackDown. And here tonight, the same has been done to Titus O'Neil. He was given the night off, and now here tonight, Darren Young's got an opportunity to compete. Because we saw last episode of SmackDown, Titus O'Neil and Mark Henry teamed up to defeat Cody Rhodes and Edge. So Titus O'Neil right now, continuing his winning ways. Mark Henry got a good opportunity to kind of bounce back from the Elimination Chamber, where he was eliminated from the match by Edge, which is basically how Edge has gotten himself this opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Not only that, but Edge has defeated Mark Henry once before, while Henry was the World Heavyweight Champion. So Edge really, he has earned a shot at the title. But Mark Henry's got a rematch clause as well, and that's what has forced this triple threat matchup to take place. But now Darren Young, he's seen Titus O'Neil. After what happened at the Elimination Chamber, Darren Young has seen Titus O'Neil achieve success, and now Darren Young, he's going to want to try to bring that to a halt. I'm not sure exactly what Darren Young's goals are, if he wants to try to bring back the Primetime Players, or if he truly thinks that they're dead and gone, and Darren Young wants to try to, just punish Titus O'Neil for his actions, and, try to achieve his own brand of single success. But Darren Young does have history with Fandango in Universe Mode. If we remember back to the Night of Champions pre-show, the King of the Ring tournament, after Darren Young had already defeated Titus O'Neil to qualify, the opening matchup, their match in the opening round, it was Fandango versus Darren Young. And Fandango defeated Darren Young to advance forward in the King of the Ring tournament. Of course, Fandango eventually was defeated by Wade Barrett who was defeated by Mark Henry, and we know what happened with Mark Henry. He went on to become world champion, winning the whole King of the Ring tournament. But Darren Young, he's got a bit of revenge he needs to get against Fandango here tonight. He wants to get his win back, and this would be a good way to kind of build momentum into WrestleMania. And we've seen right now that Ryback is white hot. He cannot be stopped. Whenever that Intercontinental Championship is on the line, Ryback just becomes this completely different person. I mean, he's almost impossible to defeat. I mean, take you back to Night of Champions, where Ryback kicked out of 3 kill switches from Christian. I mean, of course, Christian has since gone on to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but, I mean, at the time, Ryback was just unstoppable. He was just a machine. Christian hit his finisher 3 times, and that wasn't even enough to put Ryback out. It's going to be amazing to see what it's going to take to put Ryback away, to get the championship away from Ryback. But here's the thing. It's a fatal 4-way, so Ryback doesn't even necessarily have to be pinned or submitted to lose the title. And this is perhaps the kind of challenge Triple H had in mind for Ryback. He did say on the Brendan Plays announcement that he believed Ryback could be getting a bit complacent. He needs a new challenge. So this is going to be, I'd say this is definitely going to be the challenge Ryback's looking for. But right now, Darren Young, he's looking to put Fandango away here with the gut check right there. And that should do it. Darren Young hits the gut check. And that should be it. Good night, Fandango. Covered by Darren Young. 1, 2, 3. Darren Young defeats Fandango here tonight. And Darren Young can build some momentum heading into WrestleMania, heading into the Intercontinental Championship matchup. As right now, Titus O'Neil has done whatever he can to make Darren Young look like the weakest link of the primetime players. But Darren Young's going to look to try to prove him wrong. And what just a kind of way to stick it to Titus O'Neil would be if Darren Young robbed him of his opportunity to win the Intercontinental Championship. Well, that's it for this match. Let's move on to the next one. Now, I hope you're all excited for this next matchup we've got taking place here tonight, because this is going to be big. Mark Henry, the former World Heavyweight Champion, going one-on-one with the current World Heavyweight Champion, Christian. And, well, Mark Henry, he's going to be frustrated. He's going to be downright pissed after wait a minute, Christian. Speaking of people who are pissed, Christian just rushing the ring here, going right after Mark Henry. Well, I'm sure after what happened last week, Christian, he's going to want a bit of payback against Mark Henry after, Henry got that cheap attack on Edge on last week's SmackDown. And, oh, what a kick to the head right there by Christian. Christian wasting a little time to get this one going, but Mark Henry shuts him down with a spine buster. But, we've seen in the past that it's tough to take down Mark Henry. Even if you might start out with the upper hand like Christian has right here. You can bring the fight to him, but Mark Henry can take a lot of punishment. So, Christian, despite, the upper hand he got right there with that, the attack from the pre-match attack and then that kick to the head in the corner, one of Christian's signature maneuvers, Christian still, it's gonna take a lot more than that to put away the world's strongest man and the former World Heavyweight Champion. But yes, last week, Mark Henry and Edge got into a bit of a brawl. Mark Henry went on to win the tag team matchup along with Titus O'Neil against Edge and Cody Rhodes. So Christian perhaps, trying to get a bit of respect for his friend Edge, trying to get a little bit of payback here tonight, and, starting things out pretty aggressive here. But, Mark Henry, Christian did not eliminate Mark Henry in the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber, and Edge may have. So that's almost gonna put it almost a bit of a double grudge against Christian, I guess, for Mark Henry, because Mark Henry's beaten Christian before when the world title's on the line. At TLC, in a TLC match, Christian's environment, Mark Henry managed to defeat Christian. So Mark Henry, not only is he probably frustrated that Christian managed to win the World Heavyweight Championship without even pinning or making Mark Henry tap out, but he's also got to be frustrated that Christian's best friend Edge was the one who eliminated Mark Henry. So I'm sure Mark Henry, you know, he's got twice the amount of a grudge against Christian here tonight. You know, not only for Christian's transgressions, but for what Edge has also done against Mark Henry. So Mark Henry, I'm sure he wants some payback against Christian here tonight, and Christian, of course, trying to get some payback for his friend Edge here. I mean, really, these two have faced off in the past, and they know each other well. So this is going to be an epic clash here on SmackDown, and especially knowing that these two are going to be competing against each other in the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30, with Edge also thrown in the mix. You know, that just adds even more to this matchup, as we can see right now. Christian grabbing Henry by the head, taking him down with a nice neck breaker right there. And of course, we saw earlier Darren Young defeating Fandango in the last matchup. So Darren Young building a bit of momentum towards his championship matchup. I'm sure Mark Henry would like to do nothing more, well, should I say, he'd like to do the same. He would like nothing more than to, you know, repeat Darren Young's success with a victory over Christian here tonight. And look at this. Mark Henry, he's looking to put Christian away. Perhaps going for the world's strongest slam here. He's got Christian up, but Christian with a counter shifts the weight, and he plants Mark Henry into the mat right there. Christian, he's going to try to get the win off of that maneuver. 2 count, but Mark Henry manages to kick out at 2. But now Christian, he's countered the world's strongest slam. He's got Mark Henry. He's got Mark Henry down. He's got the upper hand at the moment. This is a good opportunity for Christian to try to capitalize on Henry's moment of disarray. But Mark Henry just showing his power with that flapjack. If you can even call it a flapjack, he really just tossed Christian about 10 feet in the air. I mean, you can call it a flapjack if you want. That's probably the closest move it was, but that's just a showcase of pure power from the part of Mark Henry. But Christian again with another neck breaker. Still kind of picking apart Mark Henry, wearing him down. Forcing him to expend energy with a kick out there. But Mark Henry rolls back to his feet here. But Christian once again, another swinging neck breaker. And Christian right now, oh, he's going to the corner. Could he be thinking spear here? And that's exactly what Christian's thinking. He's measuring Mark Henry. Shades of his best friend Edge with a spear right there. May have just broken Henry in half. Oh, but Christian's not done after that. Off the spear, Christian, he's going to look to add an exclamation point to this one. Kill switch engage. Christian hooks both legs. 1, 2, 3, and Christian defeats Mark Henry here tonight. And I gotta say, that's how you put away Mark Henry. We've seen in the past that Mark Henry can take a beating, but Christian really brought the fight to Mark Henry like no other opponent has in the past here on SmackDown. And he knew that the spear was probably not going to be enough to put Henry away, based on Henry's matches in the past, the kind of performances Mark Henry has had, just to kind of showcase his dominance. So Christian, immediately after hitting the spear, went right for the kill switch, and, well, he secured the kill here on SmackDown. So Christian, you know, that was no easy victory, but he definitely deserves it here tonight, as Christian has knocked off the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. So I think that should put to doubt, or I say that should put to rest any potential doubters still remaining following WrestleMania. You know, any sort of what-ifs. If Christian and Mark Henry had faced off in a one-on-one matchup, would Christian have been able to win the World Championship on his own? Well, I think that basically proves it right there that, yes, Christian is World Heavyweight Championship material. And that victory over Mark Henry should definitely put to rest any doubters and kind of reinstate himself as, yes, he is qualified to be the world champ, the top dog here on SmackDown. But now it's time we move on to the main event for this evening. Bit of an unorthodox main event, something we don't see too often here on SmackDown. But the Celtic Warrior, well, okay, we've seen Celtic Warrior Sheamus in the past in the main events, but this man, Luke Harper, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, he's going to be in one-on-one competition against Sheamus here tonight. And Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Bray Wyatt, they've all gathered their own, they've gathered their kind of rivalry with the Shield over the past number of weeks. Roman Reigns, you know, we've seen after his matchup against The Rock a few weeks ago on Raw was interrupted by the Wyatt family when the lights went out. We didn't see who exactly was all behind the attack, It could have been a single member of the Wyatts. It could have been all three of them. We don't even really know. But we do know that the Wyatt family was behind the attack. And since then, you know, they've just kind of been playing a little bit of mind games with the Shield. Just almost seeming to kind of egg them on a little bit. As the Shield, we've seen their frustration over on Raw. I mean, we saw in the last episode of Raw where Roman Reigns just completely decimated Zack Ryder in a matter of seconds. And then after that, you know, the Shield delivering a triple powerbomb just to send an extra message to the Wyatt family. So now I'm sure that the Wyatt family is going to look to try to send a response to the Shield here tonight. You got to think the Shield is watching from, you know, from the depths of the shadows, wherever they are, wherever they may be. You got to think the Shield is watching closely, studying the Wyatt family and their matches. And, you know, they can get a little bit of a... They can get a good gauge of Luke Harper's abilities here tonight. Because this is going to be this isn't going to be a picnic for Luke Harper. You know, he's going to have a tough task against the former World Heavyweight Champion, Sheamus, here tonight. And you got to think that Sheamus has kind of been similar to, like, the face of SmackDown over the course of his stint here in Universe Mode. But wait a minute. Eric Rowan now coming down to ringside here, distracting Sheamus, who is blasted from behind by Luke Harper. But now we get a bit of a glitch. I'm not sure what the heck happened, but Sheamus, you know, he's getting... I was just saying moments ago, he's like the face of SmackDown. Or at least at one point he was. And, you know, he's getting up close and personal with the fans here, I guess. I don't know how this happened, but Sheamus now, he's had his break. He was there hanging with the crowd, trying to get them on his side. And now he's back in the ring, but spine buster there from Luke Harper as the referee's going to have to get Eric Rowan out of the ring. As Rowan, he does just that. He hightails it out of the ring. But this is just going to stack the odds against Sheamus even more, because now, I mean, not only was Bray Wyatt at ringside in the beginning of this matchup, but now Eric Rowan is out there as well. So, I mean, if one of them would get up on the apron, and, you know, even if one of them gets banned from ringside, as long as the other's not really doing a lot, then they can also just kind of stick around, play some mind games with Sheamus, and get involved if necessary. And, of course, when you have two people at ringside in the corner of one superstar, I mean, Rowan could get up on the apron and distract the referee, and Bray Wyatt could rush in and get his hands on Sheamus and attack him from behind. I mean, we've seen that happen in the past in the WWE, and that's what happens. The numbers game, numbers don't lie, and they play a huge factor in matches. And, you know, of course, when you have a master manipulator like Bray Wyatt, just a master of mind games, getting inside your head, you're going to have some trouble here. I mean, and of course you got Luke Harper, who, in his own right, very talented competitor in that ring. He can fly around for a big man. He may have the power, but he's also got the speed and the agility. And, you know, he'll even dive through the ropes if necessary. I mean, Luke Harper, he's one crazed lunatic. And, you know, and I don't even know if a lunatic is really the proper term to describe it, because when I think of a lunatic, I think more like Dean Ambrose, who's kind of faster, just rushing around the ring, and more of like a, you know, like a faster pace, just a flurry of punches, whereas I think more Luke Harper, he's a bit more slow, a bit more sadistic. And as we can see right there, that huge clothesline may have just taken Sheamus' head off. And now with that gator roll, that's vintage Luke Harper right there, and now turning it into a crossface here, just wrenching back on Sheamus' face, his jaw there. But I don't know. I don't think lunatic is the proper word to describe Luke Harper, but, you know, he is crazy. He'll do some out of this world things that any normal man would never think of attempting. I mean, like a dive through the ropes. There are some superstars who will pull that off, but I don't think anyone in the history of WWE the size of Luke Harper has ever thought of doing, you know, high-flying moves like that. But look at Sheamus now firing back a comeback with a nice power slam right there. Down goes Harper. As Sheamus now, this is his opportunity. He's got to try to put Harper away quickly here. I mean, especially with the Wyatt family being at ringside at the moment. And now look at Sheamus. White noise right there. He delivers the white noise. Cover on Luke Harper. One. No, but there, right there, Bray Wyatt gets up on the apron, distracting the referee, trying to perhaps buy Luke Harper an opening to try to recover here. And look at Harper now, belly-to-belly suplex. Right there, taking down Sheamus. And I don't necessarily think that Luke Harper needed that pin to be broken up. I think it was more so Bray Wyatt just kind of reminding Sheamus that, you know, the Wyatt family is present at ringside, and they do have an influence on this matchup. They can definitely change the outcome of this matchup in favor of Luke Harper. But at the moment, Sheamus with a nice Irish whip. He's got Harper on the ropes, but Harper, another belly-to-belly suplex, taking down the Celtic Warrior. As Luke Harper right now, things are looking good for the Wyatt family, as Luke Harper measuring Sheamus here. He's got the arms hooked for that. Suplex right there. Nice move from Luke Harper, double underhook suplex. And now delivers just a handful of right hands to the face there. As right now, he's just knocking Sheamus silly here. 2 counts, but again, Sheamus kicks out at the last second. But at the moment, Sheamus is in a lot of trouble. It's advantage Luke Harper right now. And now Harper with a big boot to the head. That man just kicked Sheamus' skull in. And I think that could do it. But Harper can't quite capitalize. You know, he was a bit out of breath right there, and he wasn't able to put Sheamus away. But he's measuring his man right now. Sheamus blocks a punch, though, and now delivers one of his own. And you don't want to get into a fist fight with Sheamus, because I think Sheamus, that'll just fire him up. And that's exactly what it's done right here. High cross powerbomb by Sheamus. And that could put Luke Harper away. Right there, the high cross into that bottom rope even. Covered by Sheamus. But again, there's Bray Wyatt up on the apron distracting the referee. Although Luke Harper is out of it right now. Bray Wyatt, he's buying him some time here. This is definitely going to give Luke Harper a chance to kick out now. 1, 2, 3. No, Luke Harper did not manage to kick out. And in fact, Sheamus managed to score the victory. Well, with that high cross, Luke Harper did get a bit caught up in the ropes there. And perhaps the back of his head just kind of bounced off one of those ropes, and it must have just knocked him out cold. Oh, but wait a minute, Bray Wyatt off screen while somebody's got to get these replays. It's always during the replays when situations like this tend to happen, is the Wyatt family now rushing the ring, Sheamus being jumped from behind by Eric Rowan, and Bray Wyatt now just what is Bray Wyatt even doing? He's just pacing around the ring. As we continue to focus on the highlights here, Sheamus with that high cross powerbomb, that's the move that put Luke Harper away. But now, Sheamus, he was attacked from behind, and he's in a lot of trouble here. The match is already over, so nothing's going to stop the Wyatt family. And you got to think, this is a direct message to the Shield here tonight, as Sheamus will be another sacrifice to Sister Abigail. And that's going to be it for this episode. Bray Wyatt leaving on a high note for the Wyatt family. Sheamus may have gotten the victory, but Sheamus may have won the battle, but clearly he has not won the war, as the Wyatt family make a direct statement to the Shield here tonight. I want to thank you all for watching this episode of Universe Mode, as Bray Wyatt will pose in the ring along with the family. Keep on YouTubing.